Preston, I made the mistake last year of not understanding the you and Za'Darius dynamic and not understanding how vital you were to the locker room. He was such a flamboyant character. How did last year, where he was gone for a while and hurt for so much, but how did you grow during that time, and how better equipped, if you are better equipped, to be such a leader in this locker room are you now after the way last year played out?
Well, I just kind of did my thing, and I just stayed to being myself. I don't think nothing really changed in the leadership aspect or just being myself, because when we got here, we was already being ourselves. I was just being myself a whole lot more, because having Z and him being him, and just not having them around as much, they don't get to see our dynamic as much. But me and Z are still, that's like my brother. We're still cool to this day. We were just with each other a couple weeks ago at a charity softball game. And we were just talking and just laughing about life and stuff. We weren't talking about anything else. We were just talking a little trash talk, little friendly wagers here and there. But I just feel like him not being here last year, just people didn't get to see me and him and our dynamic as they usually see with the Smith Bros. But that's the only thing that was missing. Everything else just was the same.
Hey, Preston, I obviously you've signed a few contracts in your day now, but what did that mean to get the extension here, and just how excited are you about, that next step in Green Bay?
Man, as a dream and as a kid, when you get drafted in the NFL is to be with a team long term and to know that team feels the same way about you that you feel about them. And I love this organization, and the love has been reciprocated to know that I'm going to be here for, another 4 years, 5 more years. And I'm really excited, and I'm really ecstatic to be here to make Green Bay my home and to potentially finish my career off here. Don't be quiet on me now.
With obviously Rasul and Dre were entering free agency, so we didn't really know what was going to go on with them. With them back, what do you think this defense is capable of?
Man, it's just the more playmakers we can have on defense, the more successful. The more chance I feel like is going to increase for our success. Man, Dre obviously was all-pro, great talent, key asset to this team. We got him for cheap last year. We had to pay this year, but I'm happy to have Dre back. He's a big asset, and just having him on defense makes a lot of guys more comfortable, including the coaching staff and the organization, knowing that we got this guy in the middle who can make plays for us, get guys lined up, and he can play at a high level each and every week. Is a huge thing. In Rasul, of course, we saw this guy came off the street. Nobody really knew who he was. They probably didn't respect his game, but we saw him work hard since he got here. We saw him make key plays in big games for us, and he went on to be I think he was a Pro Bowl alternate. So to have that type of talent, to know we have a Pro Bowl, still like a Pro Bowl guy. So you still have that Pro Bowl talent, and to have him, Eric Stokes, and his emergence as coming from in his next year, Jair, and Savage, Amos. We have all these guys returning on his defense, and signing Jaron Reed, and having Kenny Clark along with me back and Rashawn. I just feel like just saying those names just produce so much excitement, knowing that we got all these players that can contribute at a high level and create so much success for this team and for this defense.
Preston, Devondre was in here and he basically said, hey, look, we gave up 6 points in that playoff game as a defense. Do you think that, A, that you guys have done your part or did your part, and B, that can be, even continuing and being more a part of this team, that this could be a defensive type team?
It's always more you can do. We gave up 6 points. People love to hear that, and but it's always more you can do. Maybe if we would have only gave up 3, we go into overtime and see what we can do in overtime. Maybe we give up none. Now it's 7-10. We win. We go to the playoffs against the Rams. We beat them before. We kind of have the up on them, so we probably have a better chance. And who knows? We go to the Super Bowl. It's always these what ifs and all these hypotheticals. I just feel like it's a lot of big plays we might have missed in that game that we could have made to prevent us from being in certain situations. There's a lot of things we could have done better to, of course, create more success for this defense, for this team. We just got to move forward from it, put that in the past, learn from it, build off of it, and make sure that we don't, when we get the opportunities, we capitalize on them to make sure that we never put ourselves in that situation to leave on the home field, on our home field leaving sad or leave sad, period.
We've seen the Mike linebacker position kind of devalued across the league over the last few years. Maybe he's making a comeback. What does it do for a defense to have a Mike like Devondre in the middle of it?
Man, just to have an experienced guy like that with so much ability is really vital to a defense because that's the guy that gets us lined up. That's the guy that gets to play into us. Not like college football, where everybody learn hand signals and stuff like that. This guy, you can, but he gets us lined up, gets to play to us. He makes sure everybody is in position, and he plays at a high level after doing all of that. So I just think it's really vital to have a guy that can get everybody lined up and play at a high level still, and contribute in a big way to the team.
How long did it take you last offseason to realize that Devondre is going to be as big a part of this defense as he became?
Well, I had got COVID last year, and after they signed him, I wasn't here. I was out on my quarantine, and then I didn't see Devondre for the first time until camp. Of course, I was in the meetings and I watched the film, but you kind of can't really tell from watching film and helmet in a jersey. So we got to, and I seen him on film a lot before, like when you break down teams and you watching film of other teams. I seen him when he played with the Rams and when he played with the Falcons. Of course, not the Rams, when he played with the Cardinals and the Falcons. You see him on film doing a lot of plays. You see this guy with these long dreads flying around making plays. Man, who is this guy? I don't know him personally, but I'm like, he looks like he's always around the ball and he's always in position to make plays for the team. And I just felt like after we got to camp and I seen him play with my own eyes live, I was like, man, this guy's a big asset for us. And I felt like before the season he was gonna have a big season. And also, I don't know who got it on paper, but I also called Rashawn Gary having a big season too before the season. So I guess I got an eye for talent.
Did you call your own big season, or did I miss that press conference?
I don't know. I might have missed that one too, but I just but I call these other guys big season. So I guess I'm a good scout for talent. It might be in my best interest when I retire to be a talent scout.
So you guys thought so highly of Mike Smith. What are your impressions of Rebs, early on here?
Just my time being here with him and just being in these meetings and talking to him personally, I just felt like he's such a great guy. He's getting the information to us, and he's making sure the young guys are on the right page, and he's making sure everybody is knowledgeable of the of the terminologies, and they knowledgeable of what they would see on the field and knowledgeable of the plays. Well, we haven't even talked about any plays yet, but he's just making sure guys are knowledgeable of what they need to know, and they know him as a person. Seems like a great guy. Seems like a great coach. A lot of energy. I like him so far, man. He's been great to me. He's been great on communication, talking to me and making sure that we all on the same page as a unit.
Preston, Devondre said that settling into the Mike role really helped him take that big step last year. In this defense in general, how does settling into defined roles help guys really streamline kind of their thoughts in the defense and kind of knowing their keys and knowing their assignments?
I guess it helps you play more confident. And you see, like he said, when he settled into the Mike role, I don't know what his role was before he got here, but when he got here, he settled into the Mike role and he played at a very high level. So you can just see that when guys settle into a role and their role is more defined, they produce at a high level, or they produce at the way that they're known for producing, and they play at the level that's very helpful to the team.
So who are you calling for good seasons, big seasons this year?
A little too early to call it, but give me a little time. Let me get my scouting report together, and I get back to you on that, in the upcoming future.
When you come back from being gone all this time, does Joe lay out some of the things you might be doing differently this year, some things he's had to do? He spent the whole offseason looking at what you guys did defensively.
You want inside secrets? I can't get that. But now you just kind of pick up from where we left off and just make sure everybody is on the same page and that they know the basics, because it's the little things that can hurt you and the little things that can help you. So I just think coming back and Joe just making sure that, okay, this is what we've been doing. This may be some minor changes. This may be what we're going to look at differently. It's just kind of like some small critiques he may have to make sure that we play at a higher level and that we fix what might have hurt us in the past, or we might critique things that were decent and to make them better and to make sure that we answer everything around the board, so there's no gray areas when we're out there on the field and that guys can play at a high level, because I guess Joe knows the talent he has on his defense, and he knows when guys are playing fast, not thinking, and there's no gray areas, we can play at a high level, we can produce at a high level, and it can also be helpful to our offense.
Just what you
Preston, what do you
mentioned.
expect from Rashawn this year? You thought he'd have a good year last year. He really did. What do you expect from him this year?
I think somebody just asked that question, but I'm going to answer it for you, though. But I just think he's been improving. Me and Rashawn worked together this offseason, and just from year one to now, I just feel like his improvements have been really steady. They've been very fast and at a great pace, and I just feel like, I just expect he's passing the bar that's been set for him each year. So just expect him to pass the bar again.
Hey, Preston, I understand that statistics do not tell the entire story, and if you want to make a bold prediction for yourself, you can. But there is this weird thing about your stat lines.
The up and down,
The even years, not
not the odd
month, I
years.
assume? Is that going to change this year? And do you have any explanation for why that's happened?
I do, but I'm not gonna tell you. But I just think this year we're definitely gonna break that. We're gonna break that curse. We're gonna break that curse, and we're gonna make sure that we don't go back down. We're gonna make sure we keep going up.
So you won't address it specifically, but are there a couple of factors that you could at least point us in the direction?
There's a lot of factors, and I like how you beat around the bush, but I'm not gonna tell you. But it's a lot of factors. But I just feel like this year is the year that I break that curse, and I don't have that roller coaster stats no more.
Why do you feel that way?
I just feel good about myself, man. I believe in God. I prayed about it, and I just know this is the year. I got my guy Joe B back for a consecutive year, and I just feel like this is the year that I break. Somebody brought it. I think TJ Slayton brought it to my attention last year. I don't know where he's seen that. I told him, you got to tell these kids stop watching so much TV. But so I just feel like this year is just gonna be the year I break it, man. I was aware of it. It was brought to my attention. This is the second time it was brought to my attention, and I just feel like this is the year. I'm just feeling real confident that that's all the talent scout I give y'all this year.
Can I bring one other thing to your attention? You posted a photo after you signed your extension with your family. I asked Devondre this as well. There's a bunch of us in here who are dads, and we do all these things for our kids. But what does it mean to get, you've had other big contracts, I get it, but what did it mean to do that and put your family in that position one more time?
It means a lot, coming from where I'm coming from. I'm not gonna say I just grew up in poverty, my mom was broke or nothing, but that'd be kind of, making it. My mom did what she could to take care of us. And just to be able to put my family in position means a lot, because growing up as a kid, you only know what people tell you. So you don't know if you broke, or you don't know if you just don't have like that, if your parents can't make ends meet. My mom wasn't telling us about her bill problems as a kid. Oh, I need this much money or this. She never told us about any struggles. So I didn't feel like we were struggling. But when you get older and you start to want more as a kid, you might want what you see, and you might want more toys. You might want a car, or, want whatever. And it's kind of then you start to find out that you just don't have it like that, or it's not it's other important things that need to be taken care of. You got to get your needs taken care of, not your wants. And then you just want to, so you kind of set goals as a kid. Well, I set goals, and I was like, man, when I get older and when I make it, this is what I want to do. And I just want to make sure I put my family in position, and I want to make sure that my kids and my daughter and my child that's on the way, that make sure that when they want something, they can get it as long as I got it. And I know I got it now, well over got it now, but I know I can give them whatever they need or whatever they want. And I can give my mom whatever she wants to. As long as she don't see this interview, she don't need to want nothing else.
Do you usually watch the draft as it's happening, or are you off?
I think I watched the first round. I don't watch the draft. I just turn it on, to be honest with you, and I just kind of might walk back to the TV, oh, okay, that's who got drafted. That's who they drafted. And then really after the team I'm on, which is the Packers, after we draft, and since we got 2 picks, y'all watch and see what they do. And then right after the last pick, I just turn off the TV. I'm okay, that's what we got.
So if they draft a defensive guy, do you try to find out anything about him, or you're just okay, I'll find out?
I only know whatever they show on TV, whatever highlights they show until I meet them in person. I only know oh, okay, well, kid looks pretty good. I mean, obviously they felt pretty, good about drafting whoever. I mean, I just oh, okay, well, I guess I'll meet him when he get in the building.
So with you having this kind of scouting acumen, then how long would it take somebody being in the building for you to kind of get a read on okay, here's what this guy's going to be for our team?
I mean, it's kind of like a phase, you know, like for rookies. First, they come in nervous because, you know, now it's like, okay, I'm on a new team in a new place. I got to get a feel for everybody. Everybody got to get a feel for me. They got to make sure they have the right impression. Then, like, that's like week 1.5. Then week 2, they nervous on the field because they trying to make sure they know the plays and that they don't piss off any older guys. So, you know, after the older guys talk to them and calm them down, then you start to see what they like to do. And then, like, when the rookies hang around each other, that's who start off with their friends first, the rookies, because they always together in all the meetings and the rookie, you know, staying late and all this. So they always together. So you start to see how they interact with the other rookies, and if they're goofy or they're quiet or if their jokes are corny or funny, you kind of find that out pretty, you know, it's like in a month process.
I don't know if you dabble with any of the mock drafts, but it's been pretty consistent that edge rush is a need for this team, some depth behind you and Rashawn. What do you think about the depth that you have right now, and do you expect that you'll land in that position?
Great question. I don't know. You know, the draft is really unpredictable. They always have a mock draft, and they always have a lot of wrong ones. So, I mean, I don't know. You know, the more weapons you have, you can never go wrong with it. You know, like I legally own like 20-something guns. It's never nothing too bad with having too many weapons. You never know when you're going to need them, you know? So it's always a good thing to have more weapons. The more weapons you got, you're always ready and equipped for whatever's to come. So, you know, that's how you never feel that, you know? You always have nothing wrong with having too many weapons. On the field and off the field.
Just out of curiosity, but not following up on that. Are you glad that Z went to a division rival where you get to see him twice a year because you're friends, or would you rather have him sign with like Jacksonville or somebody that you're not going to see?
I'd rather Z be happy wherever he's at. You know, that's what as a friend and as a brother, I'd rather him be happy. I could care less where he went. I don't got to block Z. All I got to do is sit there and watch Z. So, I mean, I could care less where he went. I'm confident in our team and our O-line and the plan they have on offense, and with knowing what Z brings to the table, I'm confident in my team against Z.
He seemed pretty happy signing that contract. So were you a fan of the picture of him, Mike Smith and Mike Pettin, all wearing purple?
Man, it's the business, man. If everybody could have they player on a certain team, then it should look like an all-star game every week. You know, like the Pro Bowl every week, or it look like a Super Bowl. But, I mean, the reality of the game is it's going to take, you know, you're going to always be somewhere else. I mean, not always. It's a strong chance you can end up on another team or you can end up somewhere else. Football takes you a lot of places. And if they got to see us twice a year, then they already know what they can get. So hopefully they prepare the right way.